Hello, Virgo. This is a full moon reading for the Leo lunation on the 26th of February, which is today. It's happening at about midnight my time, and it is occurring in your 12th house, a creative and occulted house of unfamiliar strangers, emotional and physical distance, retreats like ashrams and hospitals, prisons, asylums, monasteries. It doesn't have to be that dramatic. It can just be things like remote work or retreats. But it is a full moon that is in opposition, as they all are. The moon will be in Leo and the sun is in Aquarius. So it's an interesting axis, the Leo-Aquarius one, where it kind of asks us who we are within the group that we inhabit. And that can be any kind of community, any of the ones I mentioned before that represent the 12th house, or any collective that you may be a part of, any commonality, any scene, any local community. And fixed ideas are kind of a big part of what's being shown with this full moon light, the middle of the cycle. It will kind of depend for you on what happened at the new moon and what got started back on, I believe it was the 12th of February. And that lunar cycle will end around the 13th of March. So this is the middle of the cycle. And I am looking for a signifier card that will represent you in this reading of the energies of this Leo full moon in February. It's a good day to bathe your feet in salt water. This full moon is also about sacred rivers, and I am observing that with the sacred river of the 21st century, the internet. And it's a really good time to look inward for your answers, is about, what you have to serve the group with. Patience, it looks like. You may either have or need patience on this full moon. Ant number 32 is a card of strategy, right? And just as I was saying a moment ago, it's about doing what needs to be done for the good of the whole. And as a signifier card, it probably means that you are working in cooperation or collaboration with the larger commonality, the collective or the group, and that your individuality is not in the spotlight. However, the integration of the light and power that you own and what you can bring to the group can be shown through your patience. You're covered by transformation. So the butterfly card is all about what you're familiar with butterflies, right? The egg, larva, cocoon to birth stage, where a caterpillar undergoes a complete transformation. The body is entirely dissolved, and a new creature emerges. This is something, it seems, that has been moving slowly through your world, perhaps the world of the collective, or it could be your personal interiority. It could be your lived experience that's undergoing a change, a big change. It looks like a sea change. And you are crossed by antelope, which is a medicine of action. These medicine cards represent the symbols that the animals portray. And antelope, the swift moving antelope, is the kind of I know what to do and I know how to do it card. It's being an obstacle like this means not being able to move for one reason or another, or not knowing how to complete this transformation that you're patiently undergoing. You're crowned by the Akashic Record, the Whale card. And I often think that this card comes up when we are working with ancestral histories. I really think that's the larger backdrop of what we're going through since 2020, is this kind of an ancestral reckoning where colonialism and its devastating impact on the world is coming up to be seen. All the darkness of it is now occluding the light sides of it, and those who benefited from it are now beginning to see how difficult it has been and will be to correct for our future. So this Akashic Record card, this DNA card, it's the record keeper. What crowns you is the interior knowing, the interoception of the moment, and understanding what has come to pass and where you stand at this moment. Your foundation card is illusion, the dragonfly, number 27. And this type of illusion is kind of the habit of mind. It's interesting that it's kind of tied up into a history here. It looks like there could be a strong overtone of ancestral or inherited intergenerational influence going on here. The habits of mind that illusion represents are very subject to change. They're kind of mercurial. It's like the iridescence on the dragonfly's wing. One moment you see it, the next moment you don't. It's like a mirage. Is it real? Is it not? Do you have a habit of seeing something one way when it's really another way? It looks to me like there may be some stagnating transformation, and it could come from a long-held attitude. Something that once was beneficial, like patience, may become inertia if we're not careful. What you're leaving behind is the Weasel card, one of my favorite cards. This is stealth. If there's anything that's been secretive going on in your past or in your recent history, there may have been some quiet and keen observation. Perhaps you were waiting to learn something, and maybe it was something about a perception. It could have been that you were waiting to learn something about an inheritance, or maybe something from your intergenerational family. You know, it could be from way, way back, information that you were waiting on, that you were learning about, that you maybe had to be a little bit cunning to discover, to uncover. It may have taken a bit of trickery or some cunning to get a stealthy answer out of someone, and you're moving toward loyalty. Interesting. So it looks like if there was something hidden in a historical past for your family, for yourself, maybe something that you thought you wanted to act on, that you wanted to move forward with, some secret that you uncovered or discovered or are in the process of discovering with this full moon, it's entirely possible that it will bring you greater loyalty to your communal group, your collective group. You know, there's two ways of looking at individuality and group dynamics. It could be that you're completely out of sync with a group of people, or it could be that you're really glad that you're in with them, and that you're really glad that they're your people. And it looks like in this case, that may be what you're moving toward, that you've found the right group and it's a good group for you. And for you, Virgo, this is a place where you need to be and you want to stay. In this moment, you are dear, you are gentle. This is one of my favorite cards, probably because I see deer so often in my local environment, but it's gentleness. This is a card about embodied caring. And loyalty is part of that, right? There may have been something that stopped you in your tracks that you've learned about, an old habit of mind, perhaps an old way of thinking, or even the group that you are currently collaborating with. And a gentle perspective on it right now and a loyal perspective could lead you to your outcome. All around you is reputation. Skunk, of course, has a reputation, but it's not ego. It's a form of projection. Like, I project self-respect. I have the tools to really mess your day up, and you should probably know that before you start dealing with me, is what I kind of think of every time I see skunk. Now, on their own, these are sweet creatures, and if you've ever seen a family of them, they're really kind of cute. But they're also prone to, at least in the areas where I've lived, they're prone to rabies, and they sometimes list about drunkenly after they've gotten into grain, or, you know, they live a good life, these animals do, and they are basically invulnerable. Like, most predators can't get to them. So they really have a wide range of experience. This is a card of your immediate environment. So your surrounding collective, whatever commonality or scene or group you're involved with, may well have a reputation. And the reputation may not come from ego. It may come from who they really are. Perhaps you're learning in a gentle way to be loyal to this, but it's taken some patience and a change of mindset, a change of heart, and some thorough investigation. Let's see, your hopes and fear card, Mountain Lion, and this is the card of leadership. This is a difficult card. Maybe you're being called into leadership of your collective, your group. And maybe you're looking that transformation over very closely and deciding whether or not to act. Maybe you've really done quite a bit of research and you're trying to understand what leadership of this particular group would mean. Often leaders are not the most valued member of the group. I think it's really important to say it that way. And I think all of us, as we move through what I'm calling this colonial reckoning, are coming to see that hierarchy is not always the best or easiest way to move forward. But I think there's another model of leadership that may apply here, and that's just kind of the natural leadership that I see in dog packs. And, you know, whoever is the most informed is the one that leads in the moment. And if that's what's coming up for you because of some information that you have discovered, it looks like it's coming out of some form of gentleness, compassion, loyalty, and embodied caring. And if you have to pick this group up and forge a path for them, you may hope for that path to be something that is followed, and you may also fear having to do it. Your outcome card is Lynx. This is the card of secrets. Now, it is not the card of unknowable secrets. The Lynx knows. And it looks like, in this case, both those cats there, and this being a Leo lunation, where a Leo full moon, where the individual is in opposition or conflict with the group. It looks like, with all the rest of these cards, you know something. You know a secret about a group that you are loyal to. That's what I'm getting from this reading. And it may not hit for everybody, but that's what these cards are saying to me. there's a sense that you feel compassionately and you've been very patient as this information is being brought to light. It's been a process. It's been kind of hidden, and it took some patience to uncover. It also looks like you've been reluctant, or it's been difficult to act on this. But now that you know what you know, there's no denying it. That Lynx card is all about knowing in silence, but it's also a clairvoyance card. Maybe your reluctance to act on what you know is because you don't have the kind of proof that people consider proof. But that doesn't mean you don't know. There is a form of knowing that we have. And it looks like you may have it, Virgo, for this moment in time and for whatever is being revealed at this lunation. You know something, and it looks like you're having great difficulty acting on it. If anything, what this reading is saying to me is a simple confirmation of your knowing. What you know, you know. And what looks like a skunk and acts like a skunk and is all around you being skunky may have a very hidden alter ego, a different identity that you are very aware of. And if that's the case, your loyalty may be standing in the way of you making any kind of action or proclamation about it. And that may be the best way to handle the situation. I don't know. That would be your call, of course. But the point of this reading is to point out that your knowing is valid. That's the one thing that I can say has come from this for me. And this underlying card, the card at the bottom of the deck, Turtle, is the Mother Earth card. And she's all about reciprocity. It's about grounded self-protection. And maybe that's the reason. Your loyalty, your gentleness keeps you from, exposing whatever secret you may know. Or maybe the secret is a good one and it just makes you feel more loyal and more gentle toward this group, having seen what you've seen. You may need to come into a situation of leadership with the information that you know, or you may be in fear of the leadership of this group. But it looks like whatever secret, whatever information, whatever observation you have come toward through this process is grounded in self-protection and in reciprocity. There's a give and take here that needs to be observed. A very interesting and enigmatic reading, Virgo. I hope it was helpful to you. I hope it was able to bring some light into your full moon. And I truly hope that you know how grateful I am to see messages like this one, especially ones that don't give us perfect information and keep us wondering about how we may need to be and what we may need to act as if. This Lynx, this silent knowing, is one of my favorite cards to see. It's very self-validating in the sense that we have to listen internally, especially at this full moon. If we're going to bring forward the gifts that are within us that serve best in this moment, we have to be able to listen to that knowing and the knowledge of the secrets that we do understand. I hope you have a great full moon. Don't forget to soak your feet in some salt water. It'll probably be really, really good for you. Thank you. Thank you, Virgo.